So it would seem that you guys liked my last video. I don't know. I don't know what's giving me that impression. I think it could be the like 15,000 views. What? Okay, so we're continuing the conversation today because so many of you asked me, well, Courtney, what do you want? What do you want, Courtney? What resources do you want? What resources do I want as an autistic adult who made it 35 years without anybody figuring it out? I have no idea because I have been bumbling along trying to figure it out for 3 decades. I don't know what would make this easier. I don't. I do know that there are some things that haven't worked and some things that haven't helped and some things that I find to be just big wastes of my time. And I was trying to kind of pinpoint it today on my live stream. It's Tuesday when I'm recording this. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do a little live streaming over on Twitch if you'd like to come and join me and watch me scream and cry as I play dinosaurs, among other games. There's going to be a link down there or up in the cards or somewhere for you. I was trying to pinpoint it on today's stream and I was like, well, what would it be? And I think the main thing that I have a hair in my eye. The main conclusion that I came to is I would really like a baseline of understanding around autism and like what it looks like from the medical profession, from that field, okay? Because every time I end up in an appointment or a meeting or something and I have to re-explain things that I feel like should just be known because it's just not. Like, I mentioned it in that last video. If you missed it, I'm sure I've got it linked somewhere. The psychiatrist that I dealt with that day when I made that video, her telling me that like, yeah, there's training, whatever. Like we don't get anything. Like we don't, I mean, she was very tactful and very kind, and very patient and empathetic. But it was like, no, we're not given, there's training. We don't have anything. And that in itself is really frustrating. I had a therapist, just like general, childhood trauma, family crap I used to talk with her about. And she was fantastic. And she knew me before I received my diagnosis. And when that kind of all went down, she had lots of questions for me about it. And she was wonderful though, because I had recommended a book to her, Unmasking Autism. Is that what it's called? By Devin Price. If I can link that book, if you need a book to read, oh my God, that will change your life. Wow. Like for the better, really good. And I was like, can I make a recommendation? Like, do you think you would want to read this and it might help us be able to, because I didn't want to, at the time I was also seeing a secondary therapist who was like autism aware and like specifically for this. And unfortunately I didn't mesh. Like she was really nice, but I didn't mesh with her the way that I meshed with the other one. But like that is a thing. I had to pay for those out of pocket. At the time I had my husband's insurance through his work to help me cover that. But costs for everybody have gone up and it's not something that I can afford right now. I don't want, like I mention it periodically, like my financial situation is pretty unstable. I feel like it's like that for so many of us and it's a bit of a problem, but because I'm not under 18 anymore, I'm not a kid anymore, there isn't anything that's really covered. So what I want is to be able to the late diagnosed autistic experience seems to be one that comes with a lot of trauma. Like if you made it this far in life, like chances are you're not feeling that good about it, okay? There's going to be a lot of times where you were horribly misunderstood and that left an impression on you. And I want somebody that I can talk to about this who can actually help me as an autistic person to process some of what it was that I experienced in my youth. But I want somebody who recognizes when I say things a certain way that I don't mean it in that kind of extreme. Like I had with this one therapist, the therapist that I like quite a lot. And if I could afford to see her, like I'd be there every week, man. I'd go and I'd talk to her. I miss her so much. It's stupid. She helped me process so much shit and I miss her so much. And I feel like I need her right now and I don't, and it sucks. But we had an incident where I had started to become more and more unmasked around her and I had said something and she took it that neurotypical way, like that, like, I don't know, there was just like some autistic nuance. Like we talked about this in the stream today. Somebody had commented when I said I had made like a, well, now they know what's wrong with me. Like there was a joke involved in that. Not really a joke, but just like I was parroting something that I'd heard on Golden Girls, and that's why I said it that way. And they're like, well, you're not, there's nothing wrong with you, and I didn't mean it that way. And I don't think the person took it that way. So if you're watching this, I'm just as an example, please don't be mad, don't be mad, don't be mad. Because I'm not mad. I hope you're not mad either. But it was just the kind of thing where it's like, I'm actually repeating something that I've heard. And anyways, I got kind of upset that she took it that way, and I almost wanted to cancel my next appointment. And she was like, hey, I am feeling that maybe we had a little miscommunication. Would you be willing to have an appointment on me so that we can work through this? I've never in my life have I had somebody do that, like a professional in any capacity. I have never had somebody try to clarify a situation in which I acted a kind of way as a result. She earned so many points from me for that. I can't tell you, to this day, like I get emotional thinking about it, because so often, even friendships I've lost, family I've lost over this, things like this where people do not ever want to make an effort. I have to make the effort to understand them better or to present myself better. It's never the other way around. And so, you know, of course, it's Tuesday today. And like yesterday, the Orange decided that he had some things to say about autism and cures for autism and all of this junk. And I have so many feelings about that. I'm not out here looking for resources that are leading to cures for things. Would it be too much to ask for the world to just fit us in some capacity? Make some fucking space for us. We're not going anywhere. And yeah, we've always been here. Oh, well, why are there so many? Why cases? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, it's like, when did we find out about Mars or Pluto? It isn't that the planet started existing when we discovered it. Like, the Earth has always been round, okay? You thought it was flat. It didn't just become one day. It's like research has been done. We have been discovering, we have been learning, and it has led to, you know, like there's no responsibility or there's no want to do this from any other kind of a way. Oh my God, I'm going down a fucking tangent here, and I should probably stop and adjust my hood for the umpteenth time. The hood is just helping block some noise for me today, and I'm loving that so much. It's just a regular hoodie. It's not a fancy hoodie. I would love one of those fancy hoodies that are like padded, so it does help block the sound and stuff. But anyways, I guess the thing is, what I am looking for as a resource at a very fundamental level is patience. I am looking for knowledge and understanding and maybe a whisper of compassion. I want a sense of community and a sense of space where I don't feel like it. Okay, and I want to do a video on this too. I'm sorry, we're very chaotic. It's buzzing. It's very chaotic up in here today. But like, I would love to exist in a space where if I said something and it wasn't for you, it just wasn't for you. You don't have to take it personally. You don't have to take it to heart. You can literally put it on a shelf and leave it there. Or don't take it with you at all. Just say this wasn't for me and move on. I would love that. Once upon a time, I had tried to get more into the autistic community online, and I had joined, I've talked about this a couple of times in a couple of different videos. I had joined a Discord and it ended badly. And I've been thinking to myself recently, well, I still like yearn for that, but I still long for that. I still long for a sense of belonging and a sense of community and a sense of like, you understand where I'm coming from because you're experiencing something similar. And if it's not similar, you still recognize that my experiences are my experiences and they're still valid, as are yours. Let's just say that I may or may not be working on a Discord right now for you guys and for me to have that space. Now there's going to be rules, obviously. There's going to be some disclaimers and there's going to be some stuff. I have been working very diligently on it. Hopefully by the time this goes up, it will be live and you will be able to access it. If not, hang tight. It will be coming soon. If it's accessible now, I will have it linked. If it's not, it won't be linked, but it will be linked eventually. So keep an eye on my posts tab because I share stuff over there quite frequently. So that's a good place to check. But ideally, I would like us to have more spaces, more space, more understanding. I would like my default setting not to come from negativity. Like we were walking the dog and we had gone a different way and there was a group of school kids and some teachers and I guess they were, you know, sitting outside and having a talk or whatever. And I think it was one of the teachers had said like, it gives kids, like accommodations give kids an unfair advantage or give people an unfair advantage. She paused and I stopped dead in my tracks, right? Because I was going to turn around, like heaven help me. Freaking like I was going to lose it. And my husband's like, no, wait. You didn't hear it because you've got earplugs in. But then she followed up with saying that's stereotypical thinking. And I was like, thank God. Because I am telling you, I am not somebody to do stuff like that. Like that's actually a huge lie. I definitely do open my mouth when I shouldn't. I, you know, in that capacity, I'd keep my business to myself, but I would have said something. I would have been like, I beg your fucking pardon. Unfair advantage. Do you know what? Let me paint you a picture, right? Okay. So we're running, right? And we all have a different amount of stamina. Okay. Which means that some people have an advantage over others. This is life. Now this is just a little bit broad, so have an open mind with me here. And the person who's got a little bit more speed and a little bit more stamina, and they get to a point and they are really nice and far ahead, so they have the chance to stop and they're going to wait for whoever is coming up behind them because maybe you're running together and you've got your buddies with you. So you've had time between when that person catches up to you, okay? You've had that time for that person to catch up. That's your rest time. And then you guys just keep going, but that person never got a break. We're just asking for time. I don't know, my brain immediately went to Path of Titans when I thought of that because different dinosaurs have different speeds at which they run and different stamina capacities and like it's the thing. So if you're grouped, if you're like an allo grouped with a bunch of chickens and the chickens are like 9 million miles ahead of you and then they stop to wait for you to catch up and then you don't get a chance to refill your stamina bar and you all just keep going because the chickens regenerate stamina so much faster. Chickens is code for Deinonychus, in case you didn't know that, because you probably don't play the game, because I'm one of like, what, 5 people on this? Anyways, I love the game. It's a great game, dinosaurs. But that's basically what I'm looking for. I am looking for a baseline knowledge of autism. I would like to see that. I would like to see that applied to things so that I don't have to justify my accommodations that I'm making for myself, like my earplugs or my sunglasses or my hat or my hoodie or my headphones or my fidgets or whatever. I don't want to have to explain to you what it is that like medical professionals, I don't want to have to explain that it's a thing. Now, I am so fortunate that most of my experiences in like emergency situations or whatnot, and again, look at me. There's a reason that I'm treated better than other people. And that's disgusting. That's something I'd like to see change massively. Something I'd like to see change. I would like to also make this an opportunity to invite you, if you've got some of those kinds of experiences you'd like to share, please go forth and conquer in the comment section down below. It's important for people to know because I represent myself. I represent a very specific kind of person, and I want to hear other voices. So do the thing for me, please. Aside from that though, I want help with things. I need help with things. And this ends up falling largely on my husband and sometimes my friends, but I need help with with things. There's some tasks I can't do. Some days it's really hard to feed myself. I'm working really hard. I have a dietitian who's helping me with this, coming up and strategizing with ways so that I can feel more confident in my ability to take care of my meat suit. And so I have been improving, but like on bad days, it is still really rough. Things like booking appointments, things like getting to appointments. Oh my God, there's a lot of this. There's a lot of this kind of thing that it's just extra. Like, you know how, okay, if you privileged much, but Disneyland, right? And fast passes, where I had really bad plantar fasciitis in my feet, and my mom had to ask. She was like, look, my kid can't stand, so is there any way, like, we're not looking for a free ride here, we are happy to wait, but is there any way we cannot wait standing up, please? And we were able to do that. I would like something like that. Do you know, when I have to wait for blood work, and there was 2 years there where I was getting blood work frequently, and I'm sure if you've been in this, you can relate, where I had to go, and it may be different in the area where you live, but the location that I could get to, and I found a different location, I'm very happy about that, but the location I used to have to go to, you would have to wait like down a hallway. There wasn't room in the room. And then even when you were in the room, they had 2 lights that used to flicker and a fan that used to make like this, I'm not going to repeat it because it's a horrible, like, think of like the worst bee noise on turbo that you've ever heard. It was horrific. And everybody is crammed in there. So like people are like brushing up against you and like touching you and shit. Like, I know you can make appointments, but even when you make an appointment, you still have to wait for an hour. And that's not helpful. Or when I have to go in to have like ultrasounds and stuff done, I have uterus problems, huzzah. And I'd have to go and do that. Waiting in that main room is massively overstimulating. Stick me in a cubicle, I don't care. Put me in a box, give me 4 walls and some dark, and I'm great. And I'll wait forever, it's fine. But like things like that, there aren't, you know, or like doing business work and my taxes and my things. I am completely self-taught with all of this, and I pray to God every day that I'm doing it right. And I do all of my research. I make sure I am, you know, claiming the right things and not claiming the things that I shouldn't be claiming. And I'm submitting everything in spreadsheets. I love spreadsheets though. I love a good spreadsheet. Oh mama. But like doing that stuff myself, that takes a lot out of me. Now it's my choice to have a business. Your choice to also have a business. Maybe you're not autistic and I am. I don't know. I'm fortunate that I do have an accountant who I use just for the filing of the stuff, but she's really like helpful and she goes over things and she answers questions and stuff. But again, like I'm not able to work enough to make enough money to make these kinds of resources accessible for myself. Like there's some things that just would be helpful to have. And I know that it's asking a lot, and I know that it feels unfair for us to ask for these resources. You know, largely what I need is a buffer of time, is largely something that I require. And of course, autism is a spectrum, a beautiful kaleidoscope of color in all different areas. Not whatever. I'm telling you, it is education, man. Education needs to happen here. Like I think about it though, and I think, you know, oh, I'm not going to take us on another tangent. I can make another video. Holy cow, we are on a journey today. But that in a nutshell is kind of what it is that I'm looking for. Now, what has been kind of offered to me is medication. I have been told to seek out therapy. I can't afford that. And there isn't free therapy. There is very short-term therapy. And because I have been trying to, like, the help that I'm getting isn't even specifically for autism. Now, of course, any help given to me is specifically for autism because I have an autistic brain. So anything you apply to me, I have to reapply so that it fits through my specific lens. Anyways, it's a full-time job, I'm telling you. But I've been getting help for chronic pain issues that I have. So I'm in a mindfulness clinic right now. I think it's going to be my 4th. I will have had, by the time you see this, I will have had 1 more session. And then I think I have 2 more after that, possibly. And it's been helpful. However, it is very much through that non-autistic lens. So when we're having our discussions or we're giving feedback or we're talking about things, I am having to translate what they're saying so that it does work with my neurotype. I am also in cognitive behavioral therapy. So that was something that was suggested by the psychiatrist that I saw. So you would have seen in that last video, I talked about it. And I will say my experience with that has been interesting. Now, I've only got one sort of class under my belt as of now. It is very much you contribute in this, like you get out of it what you put into it. And I am having to reframe things from the autistic perspective. However, I will say one thing that has been helpful is, so we're currently doing homework centered around like, so what is the thing that you want to work on based off of these mental ideas or these ways of thinking, these unhelpful thoughts. And for me, mind reading is a big one for me because it's how I keep myself safe. So I'm looking at you. What are you thinking? What are you looking at? Are you looking, you need something? What do you need? Can I get it for you? What would make you happy? What can I do? Are you upset right now? Are you upset at me? Am I in danger? Right? This is the thinking, but I am not a mind reader. So I said to them, I was like, the first thing that I would like to work on, because it is one of the biggest thorns in my side. If you have something to say to me, bloody well say it. Okay? You're having an issue with me, let me know. If I've asked you and you've told me everything's fine, that's where that conversation ends. You want to bring something up with me? Go for it. I can't do it anymore. That was the conversation like pattern and style that I grew up with, was that I'm fine never meant I'm fine. And I'm not just talking about parents, I'm talking about everybody. Like, did you know when the normies say they're fine, they're expecting you to ask more? No. If you said you're fine, I'm taking that at face value. I am not a mind reader. If you're pulling a face and you're huffing and puffing about something, slamming doors or whatever, and I ask you if everything's okay and you say you're fine, you're fine. It is not my responsibility. Same way it's not your responsibility. If I'm pulling a face and being a cow and, you know, all over the place, if you ask me and I say I'm fine, it's too much. It is too much of an expectation. We've crossed over into a whole other kettle of fish now. So I will say, I'm not sure how helpful, like I have to wait. I've only had one session. And so what I've experienced has been interesting so far, and I don't want to jinx it and have my next session be not so great, but we will see how it goes, and I will keep you guys posted. But that's really it. I have been told to, well, you need to change your thinking, just reduce your stress. I can't help but mention, because I've been fidgeting with one this whole time, and I love these guys. I know not everybody likes the rubberized ones. They do have like plastic and other textures. Apparently they have fuzzy ones, like fluffy, not just fuzzy, but like furry ones now. I'm gonna need one, Tangle. Oh my God. They accepted my affiliate application. So I'm officially a Tangle affiliate, which is really cool, which means I can offer a little 10% discount code to you guys, and I get a little bit percentage of the sale. So my code is Courtney P10. That's all one word. You can use it at checkout, and it will give you 10% off your Tangle order. And what this is, if you don't know what this is a fidget toy, and probably the best favoritist fidget toy of them all. I love them. They come in a wide range of colors, different textures and styles. I really like the rubber ones because they have these little nubbins on them and I can squeeze them and cause a little bit of pain in my fingers and it feels so good, but they're fantastic. So I will leave that. Again, no pressure. If you find them locally by you and you want to buy them that way, that's fine too. But if you would like to support the channel and you're interested in a fidget that you are going to love, I love these so much. I mean, I hope that you love them as much as I do. I have so many of these. It's a little bit ridiculous. I've had them since the 90s. I got my very first one. I don't know, was I maybe like 7 years old at the time? Fantastic fidgets, and they're just really relaxing. Have been doing a great job of helping me keep calm when I'm filming these videos. So 10 out of 10. Otherwise, last week's video is linked, as I said. So check in the cards or in the description box down below. Ko-fi, I've got resources. I stream over on Twitch. I don't know what else there is I'd like to tell you. I'm on Blue Sky if you'd ever just like to chat or kind of hear my ramblings throughout the day. If you are interested in what it is that I do as a mermaid, you are more than welcome to check me out over at vancouvermermaid.ca. That's kind of my business. That's kind of what I've been doing. That is how I was known previously on the internet before I decided to do this. And I would also like to hear from you guys in the comments section. What kind of resources, like more specific resources, even than what I kind of mentioned today, would you like to see as an autistic adult? Or even an autistic youth, wherever you're at, as senior, whatever you've got, however old you are, what kind of resources would you like to see available to us? What would help you and make your life a little bit more like reasonable, a little bit better, improve your quality of life. And know that I appreciate you all so much. Everyone who watched that channel, everybody who subscribed, I'm so thrilled to have you here. I hope that you are taking something away from my content. If you have requests for what you would like to see me talk about next, please leave a comment and let me know. And I read through every single comment. Even if I don't reply, I actually take the time to read through everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the horrendous. All that said, I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. It was wonderful getting to chat with you guys again, and I look forward to catching you all again in my next video. Bye for now.